This is the beginning of my Go Gateway house. This is like a school of experience. This is how I came to create Kin Up, Kin Down. This is a package experience that I got from interviewing people in the DMV area and also people in the virtual world. So that is artists, creatives, locals, professionals, students. This is before and during COVID. Here are their stories, experiences, and perspectives.
Are we starting?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. It's been quarantine, so, I just been in the cut, saving money and working out. That's about it. And helping people with their resumes, trying to help them get a government job. And that's pretty much it.
How has that really affected you though? Are you chilling, or did it affect your job, your family?
Quarantine?
Yeah, COVID, quarantine, all of it.
I had it actually early March. It was kind of crazy. My symptoms lasted for about 5 to 7 days. It feels like a bag of bricks is on your chest. Like every time you breathe in and out, it's just heavy as fuck. And it's like a lingering headache that won't go away. But outside of that, I did my quarantine and then I was fine. But at
you
first,
go to the hospital and everything?
Mm-hmm. At first, quarantine was wild to me because it was like we about to be stuck in a house. I felt like it was going to be like house arrest.
Yeah.
And my eating habits were bad. So I was like, I got to make the best of it. So I stopped eating wild foods all the time. I started to take up new hobbies like learning how to cook healthier things, and then working out so I can stay in shape. And that's been going pretty well for me. So I just do little activities with my family. I don't really see my friends that much. We've been doing the whole virtual Zoom thing and Instagram Live and stuff like that. Haven't really physically seen people, but it's not that bad. As far as my job, we just work at home indefinitely. We're probably not going back to work until 2022, so it's cool.
2022?
Yeah, they're talking about canceling 2021 because, certain people won't wear their masks. They said if everybody in the world will wear their masks just for 6 weeks, then COVID will go away. But people don't want to wear their mask because they feel like it violates their rights, and they feel like, what kind of people I'm talking about. They feel like they don't have to do what everybody else does and they're above the law. So because of those certain people, COVID's probably never going to go away.
Now, when you had it, you had to be in a hospital?
No, I had to stay at home. Because it's no medicine, it's no vaccine. They're working on a vaccine now, but at the time, no. I just had to stay home and stay away from people.
Okay. Do you have any pre-existing conditions?
No.
Okay. You're a healthy person.
Mm-hmm.
And still you feel
it's crazy because I went to work. This was March 5th. I took off for 2 weeks because I just wanted a break. And the day I went back to work, my director, she texted everybody and she said somebody in the building tested positive for COVID and they were here today. So it was maybe 2 or 3 days after that, I started to feel weird. They was we couldn't go back to work because they don't know if we walk past that person or whatever. So maybe 2 or 3 days after that, that's when I started to feel weird and sick. And yeah, that's just how it happened.
Yeah. And you said they gave you something to take or not?
No. You just gotta thug it out. It's either you're symptomatic and you have no symptoms at all, you have mild symptoms, or you be about to die. You're on a ventilator, you can't breathe on your own.
Yeah.
So I would say mines are pretty mild. I've had the flu before, and when I had the flu, I felt like I was gonna die. So I would say the flu is definitely way worse than having COVID.
Yeah. Okay. Bet. All right. So let's talk about. Let's start from the beginning, since it's your first time here and whatnot. Let's talk about your upbringing. Where were you born, first off?
I was born in Atlanta. Well, I was born in Washington, D.C. I was raised in Atlanta, Maryland. That's probably 10 miles away from D.C. My mom and my dad, they didn't really get along. So it was kind of bad from the jump, I guess. I didn't know this growing up. I figured it out after the fact. So it was pretty much just always me and my mom. And My dad, he committed suicide when I was 3.5, almost 4. So it was kind of just always me and my mom. We lived with my grandparents, and my grandfather basically became like my father figure. He like basically felt like was my dad. So he basically raised, my grandparents basically raised me because my mom was always working.
Yeah. And did you have like other siblings?
I didn't have, well, I guess it's kind of hard to explain because my dad, he had 2 kids before me. So I have an older brother and an older sister, but I've never met them. So like if they walked past me today, I wouldn't even know who they were. And then my mom, she met somebody else and she had kids. So I have 2 younger brothers. And I think I was 7.5 before my first brother was born. And then my other one was born when I was like 9.5.
So, at what age did they tell you about how your father passed away?
See, it's very weird because my mom always told me he got shot at this gas station down the street from my house. Like, she took me there and she was like, this is the gas station where it happened. So all my life growing up, you know how when you're in school, kids ask you, what do your parents do or whatever, something about your parents. And I'm like, my dad is dead. And, little kids, insensitive as fuck, always like, well, how did that happen? So I'm telling everybody, he got killed at this gas station that's down the street from my house. And that was pretty much what I was telling everybody my whole life. And she told me that when I was like 7. And then one time when I think I was about 15, my cousin, somehow we got into an argument and she was saying, well, how you going around telling everybody how your dad died is not how it actually happened. But she wouldn't tell me why. So that's when I started to question my mom. But my mom kept saying, don't listen to your cousin. She doesn't know what she's talking about. But like my cousin, she would randomly keep bringing it up because I guess it's like it became a trigger point to me. But nobody would ever tell me how my dad really died. And then I started asking my grandparents. So I said I was like 15. I didn't find out how my dad actually died until I was 21. When I was 21, that's when my grandparents sat me down and they told me what really happened. And that was he owed the Mafia some money and he couldn't pay them back. And he was watching my older sister at the time, and he just went into the closet and he shot himself in the head right in front of my older sister. And I was really mad at my mom because I was like, why didn't you tell me? And she was like, well, do you think you would have been able to handle it? I was like, no. I was like, I'm 21 and I can't handle it now. So I don't think I fully was able to accept it and process it until I was about 25 because I just felt like I was a liar because this is what I'm telling all my friends, like this is what happened to me, and then I'm actually believing it. Now it was just like I questioned literally everything in my life from like I was like 7 until then. So that like really made me not trust people. Like I don't really listen to anything my mom says. We have like a wild relationship because of that. And that's my whole story. So now it's like, I kind of still stick to it because for the longest, I was like embarrassed to tell people that my dad committed suicide because somehow it kind of felt like it was my fault. But like, unless I personally knew people, I wouldn't tell them how he really died. So it was probably until recently, or like if somebody I know their dad died, like I can relate to them. So I would then open up to them.
Why you say you felt like it was kind of like your fault? Like,
yeah, I feel like committing suicide has to be the most selfish thing you can do. Like for him, he had 3 kids.
Yeah.
And so it would have been, my brother would have been 8 at the time. My sister was 5 and I was 3. You have 3 kids and you just leave us here.
Yeah.
Like, and then my mom and their mom didn't get along. And obviously all our parents were young when they had us. So it's like, you just left us here with them. Like,
so they stuck with their mom. And then you were with your mom.
Yep. But my mom, I don't know what really happened because I don't ask my mom, but like my mom and their mom, they never got along. So,
to this day.
Yep, that's why I never met them.
Okay. And, you said it impacted your relationship with your mom, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think you are able to forgive her?
It took me a long time. I don't think I forgave her until I was like 28.
Okay, so you have forgiven her.
Yeah, I have no choice because you have to. Like, if you want God to forgive you for things, you have to forgive other people for things.
Yeah. Yeah. I asked this question, like, do you think you have to forgive your parents in order to be a better parent yourself? You know, even be a better girlfriend, be a better friend to your friends and whatnot, you know?
I want to say yes, because if you don't, you won't be able to acknowledge or accept like your fault or wrongdoing and things that go wrong in your life. Like talking about as far as relationships, like a lot of women just want to blame the man, but like it's stuff that we go through that I think sometimes people are oblivious to it and they don't really know that they're doing it like then or then until it's too late. So I would say yes. If you don't acknowledge things in your childhood and with your parents, you are going to take it into all types of relationships, not just intimate ones. You could take it into working relationships and just platonic relationships.
Yeah. Do you hold, you know, things against your father?
I did at first, but I let it go.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reason why the way I am is definitely because of my parents. So it's like you learned a lot and then you have to unlearn it. But you got to keep doing the work to not go back to that. So it's like that's the challenging part. And I think that's where people get tired and like be content with bad situations or like stuck in their ways. Cause like it's not like a quick fix where you're like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then it's just fixed. Like you have to practice at it every time. And sometimes it's draining. But if you don't do the work, you just are a toxic person and you be toxic to everybody else.
Yeah. Like, who was there for you? Because I can assume when you found out you were really angry at your mom, relationship went sour. Like, who was like your support system during that time?
My grandparents.
Okay. Because they sat you down and talked.
They told me the truth.
Okay.
Like, I know it really hurt them to tell me that, but they were the only people I felt like that told me the truth.
Yeah.
They had my back. Like, even though they knew it was going to hurt, they did what they had to do. And it was like, it was really messed up. It was a really messed up moment, but it's like, it was a weight off my shoulder. But
yeah,
it was just my grandparents.
Like, how did it affect your personal life, though? Because, you know, some people, it happens to them, and then they change their friends. They start getting into drugs, you know what I mean? Just things just roll down to the worst that it can get, you know? How did that affect your personal life?
When I found out how he actually died?
Yeah, you know, from then on.
I definitely became a heavy smoker.
Okay.
And I started drinking like crazy. I didn't know how to process my feelings at the time. I honestly don't think I learned what emotional intelligence was until I was about 27, 28. So I was definitely wild. I was a firecracker. I didn't give a fuck who I offended, and I did shit my way and I didn't care about it. I was unapologetic.
But when all of that was happening, you knew why?
No.
You had no, you just felt like this is who
I was
I am.
angry, but I didn't know why.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't, it's like, cause now, I guess ever since I started learning emotional intelligence, I would go back to scenarios or like certain periods or years in my life, and I would be like, ugh, I could have did this, or I know what my trigger was now, but back then, no, I didn't know what it was. I knew I was just angry.
Yeah. What about, you know, guys that you were intimate with, or I don't know if you were into girls?
As far as my relationships?
Yeah, like how did it impact that too?
I was toxic as fuck. I was aggressive. I was abusive. I was angry, like verbally. Sometimes I would try to like fight them. I wasn't trying to hear nothing they was saying. It was like my way or the highway. Like, it was just bad. But part of that is because my mom, she married somebody else, and that was like their whole relationship. So it was kind of like, you really are a sponge when you're a child. I guess people really don't realize like children are sponges, and even if they can't like physically do what you're doing, like it's like in the back of their mind, like eventually it'll become second nature to them. So
like their relationship was toxic.
Yes.
Okay.
Very
this
toxic.
This is the guy she got with after your
yes.
father. Okay.
So it was like, that's who I became. I became him, and I was toxic as fuck. And
so he was more so toxic than your mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I became him in a lot of my relationships, probably until I think between 16 to like 23. Like, I was a very toxic girlfriend. I had several different relationships, and I just was really fucking toxic. I don't know how people dealt with me.
What's the worst thing you ever put a guy through that you can look back on right now and say, wow?
Okay. So one time there was this guy. This was probably like 2008 to 9. I think I was like 18, 19. And I wouldn't trust nobody. I couldn't trust nobody. So I was always going through his phone, and I saw that he was talking to another girl at the time. So, he was from North Carolina. So he would go down to North Carolina, and that's where the girl lived. So I'm not dumb. I just put two and two together. And one time when he was asleep, I took his phone and I started texting like I was him to her. And I was like, yeah, we had a lot of fun this weekend, didn't we? And we was talking about what they were doing this weekend. Whole time she thought it was him, but it was me. And I found out he cheated on me. So I just started messing with my ex intentionally. And I was just going to keep doing it. And it made me feel guilty. So I told him, and it really hurt his feelings. And that was the first time I've ever seen like a man cry. Like, I made him cry, and it made me feel really bad. And I've never cheated since then, because like it really, like, I've never seen a guy cry like that before. Like that, it's weird when a man cries, for me
So
at least.
he was cheating, but when he found out that you were cheating, he cried.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the wildest shit.
And you still felt bad.
Yes.
So you kind of a good person. But like, I mean, even though you were toxic, I mean, you still, it wasn't like sweet for you. Like, yeah, I'm glad this nigga is crying type of thing. You still felt bad.
Because it's like, for me, I wanted revenge. Like, for me, if you come for me, we gonna play chess, and I'm always gonna get the checkmate. But when I actually, like, I guess, fulfill what I wanted to, my mission's complete, it doesn't feel as good as people think it does.
So did you immediately stop fucking your ex, or did you go
No.
back again?
No, I did not.
You didn't stop, but you still felt bad. Okay.
Yeah.
And did that like end the relationship between you and the guy?
It was toxic. We probably dated again. We probably kept dating for like almost a year, but like it was just very toxic. Yeah. Neither one of us trusted each other. Like, it was just bad. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I just wouldn't leave until I really just got tired of it. And then I finally just like, there's nothing else here. So
yeah,
it's time for us to go our separate ways.
Yeah. So what kind of guys would you say, during that period where, you were toxic, finding out how your dad actually passed away, having that bad relationship with your mom, what kind of guys were you like attracting? What kind of guys were coming into your life,
Drug dealers and basketball players.
Okay.
That's it.
And you think you went for them, or just that the energy that...
They were fun. I don't know. I guess then they were fun, but when I look back on it, I think they all lacked emotional stability, I guess, and emotional intelligence, like me. So it's like they were emotionally unavailable, and it's weird because that's what I wanted and needed, but that's what I kept going after. So at the time, I didn't know that, but like when I look back on it, that's exactly what it was. I wanted people that were like me, but I wanted them to be able to show like they could have emotions or be like empathetic.
But they weren't that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Did you date anybody else that was that?
There were a couple of people that were, but then it's funny because I wouldn't give them the time of day. Like, I wouldn't be fully invested into whatever it was we were trying to build. Because to me, it felt like it was too much. And it would be all eyes on me. It would be like, I'm not the perfect one.
Like too good to be true type of thing.
Yeah. And then it's like, I'm the one with all the issues. So it would just be all eyes on me.
So you think women drive good guys away just for the fact that they think they're not good enough for them?
I think, what is this saying called? Like, it's a saying, something like, don't mess with a woman that you're not ready for. I think women know what they want just like men do, but they're not ready for it. So I do think a lot of the time women pass up on good men because they either still want to be a hoe, they have insecurities they haven't dealt with, or it's like, issues that they just have to work on.
Yeah. Have you worked on your issues?
Now I have. Not back then. I wish what I know now, I would have known back then.
What was, what happened where you had to really just like sit back and say, I gotta change my life. I gotta get on a new path. And it could be a series of things,
I think it started when my granddad died. My granddad died in 2016, and I became very cold and shut off to the world. And I felt like I was depressed. And then I was in a relationship at the time, but that wasn't working out. We were long distance. So that was the first time I did long distance. And he dealt with a lot of deaths in his family, like his mom, his brother, his dad, his grandma, his uncle. They all died with maybe in a span of 2 years. So he has no emotion in him, left in him. So I think we connected on a trauma bond, but it just, once he went away to school and we were long distance, he just wasn't there the way, I was there for him when his people were dying, but when my granddad died, because my granddad was like my dad after my dad died, he just wasn't there for me. And then ever since then, our relationship went downhill, and I felt me wanting to be toxic again, but I didn't want to. So I felt like I have to change something. I didn't know what it was, but something had to change.
Yeah. And did you go through that process of change on your own, or you sought out for help, therapy, whatnot?
At first it was on my own, because I've had a couple of different therapists, and some of them just don't do me any justice. So for a long time, I would write and try to figure stuff out on my own. And then once I got too, not bored, but stuck, then that's when I would seek help from a therapist.
Yeah. And you think therapy brings about solutions?
Yes, it does, only if the person is honest, because some people will go into therapy and they won't be truthful. They're not there to judge you. They're there to help you put the pieces together. So I found this one therapist, and every time I went to her, I always felt like there was a weight lifted off my shoulder.
Yeah. What's your relationship with your mom today?
That's always going to be my mom. A lot of the times, my whole 20s, it was always me trying to fix the relationship more so than her trying. So that became draining for a while. So I'm open to, I don't know, because it's my mom. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
I tell her some stuff, but it's a lot of things I don't tell her, because it's just the gossip in the family, and all my business is just out there. So
if you tell her anything, the whole family knows?
Mm-hmm.
Oh nah, hell no. But I mean, you spoke about being mad at her and having to forgive her. Did you have to face the fact that she also dealt with a lot of shit? It wasn't obviously you dealt with a lot,
I'm sure she's dealt with shit, but I don't know. I guess just for me, I feel like as a parent, you're supposed to be the protector of your child. So whatever shit you got going on, you should try your hardest to make it never come to me. Yeah. And a lot of the shit she had, it came towards me.
Yeah. You were the only one in the house, in addition to the man the new man that she got.
Yeah. So when she started dating him, she started to treat me differently, but I always had my cousins and my grandparents. All of us was in the same house. So I didn't really pay it any mind until maybe I got to high school. So it didn't really bother me until then. But yeah, she definitely she always gave me the short end of the stick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you said, it's always going to be your mom. There's going to be days that you're mad, and there's going to be days that you let things go. Mm-hmm. But is she making efforts to, make things better, make things right at all?
She's never apologized for anything, and I've mentioned that to her, and she still hasn't apologized. So obviously she thinks she's right. I don't think so. Because I said earlier, I feel like people have to have accountability, and She's never acknowledged any of her wrongdoing. So
Yeah.
I feel like she doesn't believe she did anything wrong.
What about you personally having kids?
As far as what?
Like, do you want to have kids?
I do.
Okay.
I know what not to do as a parent based on the shit I've seen in my life. But as far as the right thing to do, hell no.
Yeah. Because we, like, some of us want to, I wouldn't say all of us, some of us want to have kids, and we think we're going to be better than our parents until we have kids. And then I think sometimes we just repeat the cycle unless we actually really, really like heal, you know what I mean? And get to that point where you know that you were transformed.
It's that too. And then I also think it has to do with being selfish. You have to be selfishless. Like, once this person's here, like even before then, once you're pregnant, it's not about you no more. It's about somebody else the rest of my life. So I feel like I didn't get that from my mom. And I know when I have kids, I will never put myself first. It will always be about my child. Yeah. And I wish I could have got that from her, because she does that for my brother. I'm not jealous, because like I've kind of pushed her towards that. I was like, you're not about to do what you did with me to them. I was like, you have to be different. Yeah. So it's like she's doing it for my brothers, but she doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. And the siblings that you've never met before, have you tried anything? Sometimes when people say, yeah, I have brothers and sisters and I never met them, the first thing I think about is, wait, have you not tried? Like, what's the...
For the longest time, I was like, this is some weird shit. Do I just like pull up to their house? Like, how do I get in contact with them? Like, what do I do? Like, I've searched their names on like Facebook. I didn't find them. My mom has a friend that's a sheriff, and I asked her, cause she like figure out a way to find them, and she gave me the address. I think this was like in November. She was like, I found your sister, and she gave me her name and the address, but I haven't done anything with it yet, because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm just supposed to pull up and be like, yo, what's up? I'm your sister. Like, that's just some weird shit to me. I'm like, this is like some Lifetime movie shit. Yeah. Like, it's weird to me. Like, I'm not there yet. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to do it. I just don't know when or how. Yeah.
Is there anybody who has like really loved you? You can say, okay, I felt and understood love from how this person loved me.
My granddad.
Granddad. Okay. You would say that's the man that actually like showed you how love is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, you haven't seen that from anybody else, or you have?
I feel like in spurts, like my granddad was always consistent. I've never had to question like my granddad's love or support for me. Mm-hmm. Or like if I ever got in trouble at school and I told him, he was always on my side. Even if he thought in his mind, she lying, she started that shit, he'd never said like that to me. Every time I got in trouble with my mom, she was like, I know your ass did X, Y, and Z. Why the fuck are you lying? Or I got to come up to this school because you getting in trouble. My granddad would be like, she didn't do that. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I never had to question anything with my granddad.
Yeah. Now, back in your days, did you ever have a sugar daddy?
What? No.
Why to know like that?
Because that's
it's a
funny.
Big business.
I know. I wish I would have had some shit.
Yeah. Okay. How you feel about, having a sugar daddy?
I feel like I can't just, because I know with a sugar daddy, you have to do like, they want to like show you off as a trophy and like have sex with you, and then they just pay for all your shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they all have sex, but yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, we're the ones that don't want sex. To me,
I think it's based on the agreement you make with the sugar daddy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
See, to me, I always thought you had to have sex with them. I can't have sex with somebody I'm not physically attracted to.
What if you are?
Then I guess I wouldn't care. Okay. I mean, for me, I feel like a lot of the times when people go through their entanglements or situationships, the man isn't 100% about what he wants or what he expects from you. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like if they tell you the truth and you go do you, they're going to be in their feelings. So
who's an older man who's a celebrity that you could date?
what's old? Like
Jay-Z's age.
Jay-Z, my favorite rapper, but he ugly. I guess. How old is Idris Elba? Is he up there? No.
Probably
Denzel Washington, maybe.
Okay, so he can be a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you would fuck him and he put money in your bank account weekly.
I wouldn't care. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do it.
I said if I'm physically attracted to the person, not just an old grumpy white man who just wants to pawn his little nigger around. Like that's just weird to me.
Black women always think sugar daddies are all white.
I do.
Nah,
niggas don't be having no money.
You ever been to Park? Yo, I was at
Park is gross.
Whoa. Okay, all right, explain.
Okay, I think I was ahead of my time because when I was 18 and going to the little clubs in DC, I always had the wristband on. Yeah. So I was doing stuff that 21-year-olds were doing. Yeah. Then when I'm 21, we're in lounges now because that's what 25-year-olds are doing. So to me, I guess it was just never a thing to me. Like they were just all old, fat, and ugly. Like I just feel like when men try too hard, they're like corny and cheesy. So it's like you're not doing shit for me because like I've always known how to get money. So like you flashing your little money around don't mean shit to me. And a lot of men think, oh, I may go around and flash my money or my Rolex and then that's how I'm gonna get her. And that's why a lot of them be like, you're stuck up. Like, I know I'm not stuck up. I know the fucking game and you're not that cute. So that's just why I never like going to Park because it was always old ass creepy niggas in there.
I was at Park one time and I saw my homegirl. And I was like, yo, what's good? You know what I mean? Because I fuck with her. She's cool people. So I go up to her. I'm talking to her. And she seemed a little awkward. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, yo, I'm here with my sugar daddy. And he's right there.
So I can't talk to my friend?
Well, no, the nigga was upset. Like, the nigga walked away from us.
Yeah, she ain't get a check for a week because of you.
Nigga walked away from us and stood far, like, right across from us until I left. And when I left, he came and grabbed her and they left. I'm like, damn, like this sugar daddy got his emotions all tied up to this shit, man. It's supposed to be about money.
You would think that. And then a lot of the times, if I guess men go into a situation and they be like, I don't want nothing. And then the girl be like, all right, cool. I don't want nothing either. Somebody's always bound to catch feelings. And maybe he was the one that caught feelings and she didn't.
Have you ever like really liked a dude and he didn't fuck with you back?
Yeah, but it's like when they don't fuck with you back, so you kind of just be like, fuck it, you gotta move on.
Okay, so you never like persisted in shit, try to see where it can go?
No, because it's like, what's the point? I feel like at the end of the day, a man knows exactly what he wants, and if he wanted you, he's gonna try. It don't matter how busy his schedule is, he gonna talk to you when he can talk to you, or he gonna make time for you, and if he doesn't, then you ain't it.
Okay, now let me ask you this. You know, when you go on Instagram, you see a lot of girls twerking. You see a lot of girls showing their bodies now. You know what I mean? It's a lot of it.
It is. I'm sick of it.
Oh, okay. All right. So answer my question before I could ask it. Okay. So do you think that's a part of the progression of feminism? Because I saw a girl, make a video talking about she's reclaiming twerking as a part of the feminism movement and her feminism ideologies. Do you think, twerking and showing their body, OnlyFans, all of that is part of women's liberation and being feminist?
I don't. I think they just need attention or money. Like, I just don't. To me, I've never been the person to just be on Instagram, half naked and showing my ass and shit like that. I don't know. I guess a lot of people respect me and I have a lot of respect for other people. I just feel like that's for certain people. Like, you might as well just be a stripper or be all the way fucking naked. Like, I just don't understand why people do that. I think it's for attention, but like, I don't know what each of those women are going through. But I'm not with the showing all your ass and doing all this twerking shit online.
Yeah. All right. Now this question, right? You got to pick one out of the lesser evil. Like, it's two evils. You got to pick the lesser evil.
All right.
Would you rather fuck with a nigga who has an affair behind your back, or a nigga who sleeps around with multiple women?
You know what? This is funny because I got an older cousin. He's like 40. And he always told me, because I would tell him about the type of person that I'm dating, and he'd be like, you know, giving me advice on it. And he was like, what I'm about to say to you is really fucked up, but just listen to what I'm saying. And he's like, if a nigga really fucks with you and he cheats on you, he'll never let you find out. He was like, it's fucked up because he shouldn't be cheating on you in the first place, but he gonna make sure that you never find out. Just like if you go cheat on him, you're gonna make sure he never finds out. So he's told me that like my whole fucking life. So I would go with your first option. If I had to pick one, which I don't, it would be, I'd rather not know at all than for you to have me out here looking crazy.
So you fuck with the nigga that has an affair with another woman and might have like a family on the side and shit.
No, not no fucking family. You didn't say that at first. That is too much. One of my best friends went through that shit and she almost killed herself. Like, that shit was crazy. Hell no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so close to my friends. Like, when they go through stuff, it's damn near like I go through it with them. So hell no. I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. Like, that shit was tragic watching her go through that.
Yeah.
No.
Do you believe in feminism, or you believe in gender roles, or you believe in both? Can they coexist, or it's all about feminism or gender roles?
It's weird because like I'm independent. So as far as gender roles, like I can do either or. Like I had a lot of male cousins and like I got a lot of uncles and shit. So like if I had to change the oil in my car, I could change the oil in my car. Like it doesn't matter. But like I don't like washing dishes. Like I'll wash them, but like if you want to wash the dishes, that's fine. So it's like, to me, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Do you agree that the man is the head of the family?
Yes.
Okay. So then you believe in gender roles in some ways.
Yeah, well, I guess I do.
Do you want your man to make more money than you?
I would like to, but that shit don't happen, so.
So you say you usually date niggas that's broke or has less money than you?
Yeah.
Or broke?
Yeah.
You have had to take care of niggas?
I have taken care of niggas before.
Why?
I don't know. They're like little projects.
Do black women sometimes go for that shit, yo? Like, you know,
I feel like,
because a lot of women like talk shit about it after the fact, like, I took care of this nigga, but did you really know from the beginning that this nigga was like that and still
a lot of times, this is how me and my friends talk. We call niggas the first 2 weeks they bring in the representative. This is the nigga they think we want them to be, and then boom, we start to figure out the real them, right?
Oh shit.
I mean, back then, like, I'm a very like caring and helpful person. Like, if I got the resources and you a black person, I'm gonna give them to you. So if we just so happen to be like cool at the time, or we like each other, if I see you're lacking in something, I'm gonna help you with these things. At the time, I wasn't thinking of them as projects, but I guess like now that I have emotional intelligence, for me, it's like I was that way with them because I wish somebody would have done that for me if like it was me lacking. So like, of course, niggas don't ever appreciate shit until you're gone. They all appreciate it after the fact, but like I don't regret helping anybody I've dealt with in the past, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah. Now, so I had my homegirl here, and she was talking about the same. It's a similar situation. She said she was fucking with niggas because, you know, she comes from a family where she had the mom and dad, you know, in there, and her family was well put together. So she would like attract quote unquote bad boys, thugs, and she would want to like, you know, like treat them like projects, just like you said, you know. Is that similar to your situation, or you were fucking with nerds that were broke, or you was only fucking with street niggas that was broke?
Drug dealers and basketball players.
Okay.
They're so much fun. That's just it. Like, they're fun.
Was it for protection or just the fun?
I never thought about that. I guess, well, maybe it was for protection. I don't know. I played basketball, so to me, I always thought if I dated a basketball player, it would be easier for like me to understand their lifestyle and then them to understand my lifestyle. So that's why I was always attracted to basketball players. Like I watch basketball all the time. As far as drug dealers, I have no idea where that obsession came from. It's just they're fun. Yeah. That's just it. It's a fun lifestyle. I guess it's like a adrenaline rush.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Tiana, it was dope having you here. If you were to give yourself like 1 to 10, how transparent have you been with this podcast? 1 to 10.
I would say a 10, maybe an 11. Shit.
Yeah, nah, I feel like that. I feel like that. I really appreciate you coming here. Sharing your story. It's like, I mean, it's something that I can't even imagine because I haven't gone through that. You know what I mean? But you still carry a very like positive spirit, so that's actually really dope. And I hope you find your peace and you keep healing. And just stay away from toxicity, man.
Yes. I'm at peace, so yes.
Okay, and before we go, if you could say anything to black men right now, what would you say?
Just keep it 100. Like, I feel like a lot of the times I don't like when it's, the black man versus the black woman. Just say what you want up front. Like, yeah, like you might say you don't want nothing with this girl, but like at least give her the chance to decide and choose if she wants to still fuck with you or not. Cause like shit could change down the road. Like you never know, because like you telling her you want something and then you still doing you on the side, you already created something that wasn't supposed to happen. It's just like, it's bad karma. Like just keep it 100 with black women. Like we got to stick together, cause it's like, it's us versus everybody. And then it's us versus each other. Like we just got to stick together.
Yeah. Dope. All right.